Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Pokemon Spectrum. Who do we have here? Why, we have some new, very attractive faces now. Well, for those of you who were not in the know, when we were going through the auditions process, I made an offer. In addition to the players that ended up being in the main campaign, I made an offer to four other players who I felt deserved to have an opportunity to play with me and to play with each other. So we have some four people who are have rolled some characters that will be canon in the campaign, and they will have not only today being their session 0, but they'll have a full session as well as guest appearances in the main campaign itself. And for those of you who are interested in hearing about their story, be aware that included in this video, in this session 0, are the origin stories for all of their characters. So really this is sort of like session 0.5. You definitely can start like listening to our session 1 with these characters if you want, but you're not going to get the full story if you don't watch the origin stories in this video. So just thought I would make sure I clarify that for those of you. So we're going to do some icebreakers, and we're going to introduce each other to each amongst the players, because that's really important. I would like for each player to tell us how you would like us to refer to you as, where you are from, and in 30 seconds or less, what is it about Pokemon that you really enjoy, that you really like?
My name is Kiwi. That's pretty much what I'm using online. I'm from Quebec, Canada. And I've absolutely always loved Pokemon for, I don't know, I guess it's the art style of the game. It's the adventure you live. It's, and even then, it's not just that, because I just don't know why I love the game so much, because my favorite one is Pokemon Stadium for 64, so it's not exactly the adventure that brought me to the series, so I don't really know why I love the series so much.
I'm quirky. I'm from Minnesota, born and raised. And what I love about Pokemon is sort of what they don't touch on in the games. Some of the stuff that was made outside of the game, like the lore videos and the theories and all that good stuff.
My name is Faith. I am 25. I'm from Helena, Montana, and I started watching the anime at 5. And then we got our first Game Boy at 10, when I was 10. And my entire family would just play Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. And we timed out the clock. We played it so much. And it's really always been a part of our lives.
Well, hello, my name is Ronek, and I'm the only man in this group here, apparently. And I'm from Finland, Rovaniemi. And well, in Pokemon, I didn't get to normal games. I got to the Mystery Dungeon games. In the Mystery Dungeon games, the story is just much more different and, well, touching and more impressive than the other Pokemon games, but I just love those stories in them.
Okay, all right. The next thing I wanted to ask you guys was if you could be any Pokemon at all in this universe, which Pokemon would you be and why? I think Faith already had an answer.
I do.
And she has a visual, if you want to tell us.
I would love to be an Espeon because A, cats are awesome and they can be lazy and taken care of all their lives. That would be nice. Also, they have psychic powers, which would be awesome to have.
Is that your favorite type, psychic?
No. I really like fire. but
You're like fire.
it's a close race.
Okay.
I would be one of my other Pokemon I was considering for my character, which was an Abra. I would be an Abra mostly because I'm very introspective person and fairly quiet in everyday life, and it would be kind of awesome to just teleport everywhere.
And if you were to pick a favorite type, what would be your favorite type?
Probably I'm most fascinated by either psychic or a ghost type. I just gravitate towards those for some reason.
The supernatural aspects
Yes.
of those. Yes, I totally get you. Ghost is one of my favorites as well.
When Mystery Dungeon games are really unique because in those you are a Pokemon and you have to go to a quiz to choose what Pokemon you will be. And most often or not, one with the first Mystery Dungeon game I played, I was a Cubone. And I like Cubone. It's cute yet still so lonely and so sad, but I'm a lonely person, but I like being by myself.
Oh, that's so sad. What if you had to pick your favorite type, Ronick? What would be your favorite type?
My favorite would be definitely Steel.
Steel.
Steel is
Definitely.
just
Why
so
steel?
unique. It's not like animals or other things. It's very special type. One are very unique, and I like them about that.
I think what I would be in any Pokemon setting, I probably would be a hunter. I really love Haunter as a Pokemon, like Ghastly, Gengar, and Haunter. Those are my favorite Pokemon. And I don't know, I'm not really a prankster, but I do really dumb jokes sometimes, so I don't know, it kind of fits. And I don't know, I look cool, so why not?
If you could pick a favorite type, what would it be?
It would be Fairy.
Fairy. Why fairy?
Most of my favorite Pokemons have Fairy as a subgenre, I guess. So it kind of stayed with me. I love tiny and pink and tiny, cute, and pink Pokemon. So
Thank you, guys. All right, I have one more icebreaker-like question, which is a question that I like to ask before any campaign begins, and that is, just so everybody's on the same page, what are you hoping to get out of this experience, both from the campaign and from each other? What do you hope to get from this experience, both from the campaign and each other? Even though you guys are only going to be playing for like 2.5 sessions, it'd be valuable to know.
I would like to Steven to live a campaign. This name I have used in every campaign I have been in. It doesn't, and every campaign I have been in, it has stopped midway. I have never finished a campaign. To live a campaign for once. And from this, I just want to have fun. I've played many different Pokemon campaigns, and I just want to have fun.
like Ronick says, having fun is an important part of any campaign. That's kind of what I want in this. And it actually helps me like get out of my shell because I'm a very nervous and shy person. So talking to other people, joining into a tabletop campaign like that, it's really helping me. And making friends is also something that I should do a lot more.
So the nice thing is, after we're done with, now that you guys are officially in the campaign, I was going to invite all four of you, if you're interested, I was going to invite all four of you into the private Pokemon Spectrum chat, as in with the other 5, if you're interested. So if you want to start hanging out with them and talking to them, just be wary that there might be some spoilers in that channel. So just be sensitive to that if you care. But I thought that would be cool because I would like to open up the main cast with you guys so that you can start interacting with them, and I think it'll be fun, especially when they start watching your videos. It'll be cool for them to start having theories of their own of what's going on with your characters, because I think when you get into the origin stories, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm going to stop there. So
Yeah.
they might have some questions is all I'm going to say.
What I want from this campaign is to actually go through a campaign without it dying on me. And also to experience a good story, and to actually have an experience of role playing with other people, and to sort of stretch myself a little more. And I'm preparing for feels. I'm preparing myself for feels. So
Okay. We'll see what we can do. Faith?
Well, like everyone said before, I'm really excited to do this, just to have fun and with other people, open up a little bit. I started DMing my own game about a week ago, and it's really helping me come out of my shell with people at school, people around me, but it's still with the same people every week. So getting to know some other people would be nice.
One I remember particularly is Quirky's edition, because I know some people always choose the same Pokemon, and seeing a matchup is something that we don't see a lot in PTU campaign, and was great to see, and I can't wait to play with.
I liked the art from his audition. The way you described the character as the dad friend was very interesting. And
This is for who again? I'm sorry.
For Kiwi.
Oh, for Kiwi. Okay.
Yeah. For the way he described his character as the dad friend, it made me interested in how my character would interact with Charlie. She's a bit more, a little bit more grounded and more serious, while Charlie seems a bit more upbeat and charming.
I think the one thing that stuck out the most with Faith's audition, which actually is the reason why I really wanted to have these other characters, is she brought up a really good point, which is a point that I think Kiwi brought up too, is that tabletop campaigns is a really awesome way for people to come out of their shell, and it is a great way for people who are normally really introverted and aren't very comfortable, interacting with people in a setting like this. It really helps them a lot, and I wanted to encourage that, and I wanted to give people an opportunity to embrace that, and it just seemed like a really noble reason to want to join the campaign, that I was like, how can I not let these people at least have a chance? So obviously I couldn't do that to every single person who auditioned, but I at least tried to. Having 4 of you do it is better than having none of you do it. So that was one of the things that really stuck with me. And so Faith is a major reason why we're doing this today. So please thank her for that. And Ronick, when I was watching Ronick's interview, I couldn't help but smile, because I could tell that this was something out of your comfort zone. I could tell that it was you were. I could see you were nervous, but in a good way. Um, and the fact that you were willing to put yourself out there, and the fact that I really loved the story that you were giving your character. Steven's story sounded super interesting, and I felt like I could do so much with that, which I am going to. So,
Yeah, I noticed.
There's a lot of things. Dreams has a very major part of this campaign. I don't know if you noticed that Dreams is a major part, and a lot of it is
Yeah,
actually
I
because of
did.
a lot of it's because of your character. So
Oh,
I got a major theme of the campaign was actually influenced and inspired by your audition, Ronick. I didn't know if you knew that. And
God
so
damn it! Don't make me cry.
oh,
You're getting my Steven out of me. You're
oh,
getting
that's
Steven
so
out.
sweet. That's so nice. So that was one thing I really liked about your audition. Cool. All right. Now we're gonna go to hopefully an easier question, and I want you guys to talk about your character. So each of you spend, I'll say, a minute or less. A minute or less. Give us some background information about your character that you would like the audience to know before we even start role playing. If there's something that you might want to keep hidden away for later, you're welcome to. So, what would you like to reveal at the start that I may not be able to get into, today during your origin stories, that you think I might be not be getting into during origin stories?
So my character is Charlie. He's from Alola. He's a baker from the Busy Bee Bakery. And his Pokemon is Bug, a shiny Cutiefly. But since Charlie doesn't know much about Pokemon education or anything, he just has no idea what a shiny is, so yeah, he doesn't know why Bug is pink, but he likes him like it is. He's also really used to his routine, so getting out of his routine kind of makes him a nervous wreck, but he's getting used to it slowly.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it.
My character is Anne Kearney. She.
Oh, the Kearneys.
Yep. Them. The family everyone loves to hate. She is the oldest sister in the Kearney household. When she was 10 years old, she was sort of sent off to a very prestigious Pokemon training academy where there's all the Pokemon training experience without all the danger of the outside world, basically.
It's very sheltered.
Yeah, very sheltered.
And very rule heavy, from what I understand.
Yes, very rule heavy. Mm-hmm. And her starter was a Machop named Cole. I think he's the oldest Pokemon that I've seen at 14 years old. So he's probably he's gonna be the old Pokemon of the group. The thing with Annie is she's always tries to skirt her way around the things that she sees as weaknesses and tries to find the most convenient thing rather than the right thing.
Okay. Follow-up question, just so I know before we actually go through your origin stories. What is Annie's opinions on Cassandra Pine?
Has she met Cassandra Pine?
I would say I would leave that up to you. I'm sure that she knows who she is. She lives in your neighborhood. You know, I'm
Okay,
sure
yeah.
you probably have at least met her in passing because she happens to be your sister's best friend. But if your interaction with Cassie is limited, you can say that, and that's fine.
I assumed that the whole Cassie thing came about after she was gone to the academy, but she could have probably seen her in passing and was like, "Oh, interesting."
You you probably at least are familiar with her father, Dr. Nathaniel Pine. You probably know him more than you know her, even if you've never actually interacted with him, because he's not like super famous, but him being in the neighborhood, it's people wouldn't know who he is. So, especially with
She's
what happens to him.
exactly. She kind of is. She sort of just heard about the doctor that was
Who
radiation
had a
or
heart
whatever,
attack or whatever, heart
heart
attack,
attack
radiation,
or
something,
whatever.
something.
And I was like, "Oh, that's sad,
Hmm.
unfortunate," and then kind of just went on with her life.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Moxie is 20 years old. He's trying to become a pop star in the Kanto region. He was greatly scarred when he was younger by an attack from a Pokemon, and so he's afraid of all Pokemon except one that he was given at his music industry corporation, because he raised and hatched it himself, and so he's trying to get over his fear at this point in time.
Tell us a little bit about how you see Moxie's relationship with his sister,
Okay.
Madison. Sure. Madison Rainier.
Well, apparently Madison went to a correctional facility
Mm-hmm.
probably
What does he think about that?
after he got out of school. He probably has mixed feelings because she is the older sister. He
Yeah.
looked up to her,
Mm-hmm.
but his parents didn't like that at all, and so he's kind of caught in the middle. He loves his sister, but he also wants to make his parents happy.
Does he think that his sister's a screw up?
He probably thinks she could have done better.
Mm. Interesting. All right, very interesting.
Yeah, Steven is, well, he's, well, if you look at him normally, he would seem like a lazy guy. He normally needs to, his Pokemon needs to put him to work. Data needs to make him do his job. He does really good at his job. He is a programmer, and well, he's really good at his job with help of data, because programs are helpful with computers. Steven has lots of in his mind. When he's home and doing, well, nothing, he's most likely looking at researching things that really are in his mind all the time.
One thing I will give you as background information in this universe, Ronick, is that Porygons are rare in Kanto, at least to the common person. And the reason why they are rare is because, due to their ability with computers, it's very easy to hack somebody's bank account and, you know, do other shady things online. And that's why, in order to be allowed to own one, you have to have like certification of some sort. Which I guess, did you get that Porygon yourself, or did that your parents provide it?
It was his sister. Sister got him.
Oh, okay. Alicia got it for you, and you
Yes,
were able to
Alicia.
get the certificate. Alicia was able to get it, and you were able to get some certification for that. Okay, cool. All right. Sweet. Okay, everybody, let's do your origin stories. Let's get into it. Let's get into role playing. Moxie, this is when you are a wee young laddie, little boy. Okay. We're gonna say that you're on the way back from school, and I'm not sure if you took the bus or whatever, but we'll say that you're walking home from school. Roll a perception, please. 15. All right. In the distance, you see some sort of commotion happening, and it's in the path of your way home. And when you get to closer to the commotion, you notice that there are two Pokemon that are fighting each other. One is an Eevee, the other is a Beedrill. What does your character do, Moxie?
Is one winning?
Roll a health. Medical. 5? From this distance, you can't really tell.
Okay. I would
From this
approach.
distance. All right. Since you're a little boy, you approach. How old would you say you are at this point?
Like 6.
You're like 6. All right. So you're approaching, and the Beedrill, the Eevee pounces at the Beedrill. The Beedrill dodges out of the way because it's very fast, and then the Eevee basically over aims or sails past the Beedrill. As you approach, the Beedrill notices you for the first time, and I think at this low distance, you notice that there is a hive-looking thing on the, like, in the branches of this tree, which you believe is probably where the Beedrill lives. And the Beedrill sees you getting closer, and his eyes kind of furrow, and it starts buzzing. You can hear the sound of its buzzing growing louder and louder and louder, and then it actually charges straight at you. What do you do?
I run.
All right. You turn around and you scream, and you run, because I don't know if you know, but Beedrills are actually pretty large. They're not like this. They're like that, and their stingers are pretty big. So the 6-year-old turns around, starts to run. He ends up stubbing his foot on a rock, and he actually trips and falls. So you fall to the ground, scraping your knees. Your hands are scratched up with a little bit of blood, not that much, but it's definitely painful for you. And this Beedrill is coming closer and closer and closer and closer, and it's got his big stinger like aimed towards you, and it's just really mad and really upset. And just as the Beedrill makes contact with you, this flash of brown appears out of nowhere as the Eevee jumps in between you, and you hear the really frightening sound of something piercing through flesh, and you feel a warm viscous liquid splatter the side of your face when this happens. And I'm not sure if you are looking away or not looking away. What do you do when this happens? Are you watching this, or
I'm watching.
are you covering your face? You're watching. All right. You turn around, and you see that the Eevee superimposed itself in between you, and there's like a puncture wound on its side, and it's bleeding pretty badly as the Eevee starts to try to do some fury swipes, scratching at this Beedrill. It's at this point that some of the people in the neighboring houses start coming out, and everything's happening like in slow motion. You can hear the sound of parents like yelling out, you know, somebody call the Jennies, and you can hear someone else saying, go grab the kid, and you can feel these strong arms like picking you up and dragging you away, and several of the other adults and grown-ups are trying to engage the Pokemon, but this Beedrill is like not having it. It's really, really peed off. The rest of it is a blur. And the next thing that you remember, because everything's happening so fast and so slow at the same time, it's a weird sensation. You are in bed in your own room. You're not really sure what it's transpired within the last however long it's transpired, but you're in bed right now. You've got some sort of like cloth on your head, and you can hear a small voice call out to you from the side of your bed and say, huh, Moxie, you're awake?
Where am I?
She says, Moxie, you're at home. Mommy says that you have to stay in bed, though. And you see this little girl next to you, your sister, Madison, with bright red hair, and she's missing, like, I would say 2 or 3 of her teeth. And she has a little bit of a lisp, almost. Said you have to stay in bed.
Maddie, what happened to the Eevee?
The Eevee? Oh, what Eevee?
The Eevee and the Beedrill.
Oh, I didn't know anything about an Eevee. I just know that a Beedrill tried to attack you. That's all that Mommy said. And she said that you were okay, but you need to get some rest.
Okay.
Do you want me to get Mommy?
Is she here?
Yeah, she's trying to make you something, like some soup or something to make you feel better.
I would try and get out of bed to go towards the kitchen.
Well, when you start to go up, your sister gasps, Moxie, you're supposed to stay in bed. Mommy promised I would make sure you stayed in bed.
Well, help me at least.
Oh no, she says, I don't want to get in trouble, mister.
Fine.
What do you take me, some sort of criminal?
No. Fine. But only for you.
Good. It'll be at that moment when there's like a rap on the door and you can hear the voice of your mother say, Moxie, are you okay? Are you awake?
Mom.
The door opens and you see your mother come in, and she's got like this tray, and she's got a bowl of, it looks like something steaming out of the bowl, and you can smell the smell of tor chicken soup in it. And she comes over to the bed, and she sits next to you, and she puts the tray like right next to you, and she says, good, you're awake. And she starts like feeling your forehead. And
Mom, what happened to the Eevee?
She stays silent for a moment, and she says, you need to regain your strength, Moxie. You had quite a shock. You can tell that she's avoiding the question as she's putting the tray in front of you. She says, now I made sure that I out of character, which vegetable would you say is your least favorite vegetable that you would normally put in soup, would you say, as a kid, as a child?
Leeks.
Leeks? Okay. She'll say, I made sure to take out the leeks for you this time. Here, eat up, she says. You need to regain back your strength.
What about the bee drill?
Moxie, you shouldn't have to worry about these kind of things. This is something for adults to worry about.
Okay.
She's going to sigh a little bit, and she says, but I suppose since you went through this experience, you deserve to know. If you really want to know that badly, Moxie, the bee drill, they had to put it down. Do you know what that means?
It's dead.
Yes, Moxie, it's dead.
Good.
I think that it was upset that you and the Eevee got too close to its home. It felt threatened and it attacked.
Mm.
As for the Eevee, she takes a hold of your hand and she squeezes it. It was in very bad critical condition by the time we got to both you and the Eevee. And Moxie, it didn't make it. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's dead too.
She flinches a little bit when you say that. She flinched a little bit the first time you said the word dead, and then she flinches the second time the word she says dead. And she says, we say pass on in this house, Moxie. It's a better way to put it than dead.
Passed on where?
To the next life. That's where Arceus and the rest of the Pokemon go when they die.
So they're not dead.
In a way, I like to believe they live on in some fashion, just not here.
Okay.
Do you need anything besides soup, Moxie?
No. Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome. Madison? Yes? She says, if your brother needs something, make sure that you let me know. Okay, Mommy. Of course. Can I play some video games now? And she says, Madison, no. Like, you know that you only get to play on the computer an hour each day. Says, oh, but I want to go and beat my next top score. And your mom sighs a little bit and says, no, Madison, you already had plenty to do today. Why don't you just watch a movie or something? Okay, Mommy, I'll go and watch. And she sort of like rolls her eyes a little bit. And your mom leaves the room. And Madison turns back to you and again and says, so, what do you remember? Do you remember what happened?
I remember all of it.
She sighs a little bit and she says, what did you do? Why did the beedrill attack you?
It had crossed over the wall and made its home in one of the trees nearby. It was attacking one of the Eevees.
That's mean.
Yeah. I'm glad it's dead.
I'm glad it's dead too, she says, like, promptly.
So what are you watching?
It's a new show, Corsola Bob.
Okay.
All right. Next, we're going to move to Charlie. So, Charlie.
Yes.
You are currently at school. You also are relatively young. You're in elementary school. I'm going to say you're in elementary school. Maybe like third grade. We'll say roughly third grade, give or take. I wasn't sure. And right now, the teacher has you guys like working in pairs on something. Like maybe you guys are working on some sort of art project where you're making like whatever. There's a turkey Pokemon or something, I think. Isn't there a turkey Pokemon? I don't remember which one it is. But you take the hand, you trace your hand, and you make the little turkey Pokemon things out of them, and you're pairing up to make these little craft things. And your teacher comes up to you, and she says, "That's very nice, Charlie. It's very nice." She places a hand on your shoulder. How, I would say subjectively, how artistic is Charlie at this age? How much of a turkey does it really look like, I guess, subjectively?
I guess it's more like some sort of a strange blob with fingers at that point.
Okay. All right. She says, "That looks very interesting," the teacher says.
Thanks!
"Charlie," she says, "could you come with me for a moment? One of your Aunt Felicity is here. She needed to talk to you."
Oh, okay, but I'm not done. Can I come back finish it later?
At this point, the teacher says, "Yes, of course. Of course. But just in case, let me help you pack up the rest of your stuff. I think your Aunt Felicity needs to take you somewhere, though.
Okay.
But you can finish your project and bring it back tomorrow, okay?"
Okay.
Okay. The teacher will help you pack up, and she will take your hand and will escort you to the principal's office. And when you arrive at the principal's office, you see your Aunt Felicity, and she is a younger version of the Felicity, of course, that we know in the campaign. And she's pacing. She's pacing a little bit back and forth in the office. And when you enter into the principal's office, she turns around and she gives you a forced smile. Whether or not you catch it's a forced smile is up to you. I don't know how observant you are. And this is a little bit strange because normally you don't really see Aunt Felicity unless it's the holidays. Like you normally see her for the winter holidays, and she happened to be at the office, like I said, and she gives you a smile and she gets down on one knee and she says, "There's my little Charlie. How are you, baby?"
I'm
And
good.
She opens up.
I drew a thing earlier.
"Oh," she says, "aren't you a really creative little thing, little munchkin?" She says as she like gives you she sort of taps your nose a bit with that.
What are you doing here, though?
She says, "Charlie, baby, I got something important I need to talk to you about. The principal said that we can talk in the next room over there. Is that okay?"
Okay.
She will take your hand and she will sit you down. There's like a side room that normally the parents might have conferences, like parents' conferences with their teachers, and she'll sit you down, and Felicity takes a deep breath and she says, "Now, Charlie, baby, there's something that I need you to." It's really hard, you see, because stuff like this you shouldn't have to worry about at your age, but I thought that you should know what's happening. Your mother, she's dealing with some things right now, and I came to pick you up. We'll join your mom and dad and your sister Carolyn in just a moment. Something happened to your brother, Charlie. Something happened to your brother, Anthony.
What?
He was out playing recess with some of the kids, and he went missing, Charlie. The teachers all went around trying to look for him. They couldn't find him. So your mother, she went and called the police to try to file a report. She changed her words. She went to the police to let them know that Anthony's gone missing, and they started doing some heavy investigations. One witness told the police that they did see a child of that description, but the child was with another Pokemon at the time. It was a Hypno.
Charlie kind of tenses up and kind of hugs himself.
Do you know much about Hypnos, Charlie?
They're scary.
Yes, they're scary, and they're not supposed to be here behind the walls. They're Pokemon that are not allowed. Somehow, they believe that an unregistered, do you know what that means? Unregistered? Certain Pokemon are allowed here in Kanto and certain ones are not. Hypnos are not allowed here, with the exception of a few that are registered, and those ones that are registered are here with permission. They believe that an unregistered Hypno came in and your brother went with it.
Did they find him?
They're doing everything that they can. They've got a search party set up. I'm sure that give them some time, your brother should be just fine and you'll see him again. But just wanted to let you know what's happening so that you're not confused when you come home and you don't see him there, okay? We've got the best Officer Jenny's on the case, and they're gonna do everything that they can to bring your brother back home.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have any questions, Sugar?
I hope he's okay.
Oh, baby, I hope he's okay too. And she goes towards you and she clutches you into a very, very strong hug.
Charlie hugs back, probably as tight as she does.
Okay. We're gonna move to the next person. What is it with all of you and your messed up backgrounds? How dare you give me all these messed up backgrounds? Okay. None of these, for the record, none of these are my ideas. These are all your ideas. Steven.
Oh God.
This is how we're going to start with Steven. Steven, let me ask you this. Do you consider your family religious at all? Steven's family religious? Just out of curiosity.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Which legendary Pokemon do you think is the patron god that your family worships, would you say?
They have two, actually.
Okay. What are the two?
Their mother is Dialga, father Palkia.
Dialga and Palkia.
Yes.
Yes, I see.
That's part of the reason why their last name is Pearl.
I like that. Okay. You are in the Temple of Palkia. You are dressed in a dark suit. And there are a large number of people in the congregation here in the Temple of Palkia. many of the people, every single person in this congregation is dressed in black. Some of the women have black veils over their head. And there are two open caskets in the center of the room. There is a very solemn sound of organ music playing. And you are up at the front with your next younger sister on one side and your other two siblings on the other side. I don't think you specified.
No, I didn't.
Do you want to say, other than Alicia, do you have a brother and a sister? Do you have two sisters? Do you have two brothers? What would you say?
No, not a sister and a brother. Brother is the youngest.
So he has one other brother and then a sister?
Yeah, two sisters and a brother.
Two sisters and a younger brother. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a funeral that is happening right now. And it is you and your siblings, and your parents are nowhere to be found.
I know to stay.
The pastor of Palkia is on the pulpit right now, and he's speaking to the congregation. Everything that he's saying is in one ear and going out the other. And he is... The only time that you snap out of it is when the pastor directly calls your name. You don't hear it at first. He calls out your name a second time. Again, you don't hear it. And then he says a third time, Stephen.
Yes.
We're ready for your eulogy, Stephen. If you could please come up. Your siblings turn to you, and Alicia, takes a hold of your hand and she gives it a squeeze. And she sort of nods and says, "You can do this."
Slowly going up there.
How old is Stephen at this point?
I can't say for sure, but he...
In college, out of college, high school?
In college, yes.
In college.
He's old enough to, classified as an adult.
University. All right, so he's, would you say early 20s?
Yeah.
Early 20s, all right. You make your way slowly up to the podium. Right next to the two caskets, there is a very large photograph, like on an easel. There's a large photograph of your parents right next to the caskets, and there's flowers. There's flowers all over the place. White and light purple flowers that are similar to the colors of Palkia, the god Palkia. The congregation grows silent as you get up to the microphone to speak about your parents. From your understanding, just so I can give you some background, from your understanding, your parents were away on business, and while they were on business, they got into a fatal car accident in which they died instantly.
My parents, they were great. The best friends I could ever ask for. Every time always when I was in trouble, having problems in school or anything, they were always there to help me. They were busy people, but they always put time to take care of me and my siblings. They fighting back the tears. This wasn't supposed to happen. I don't understand why this happened. I wish that things would have gone differently. But Steven's really out of it. Can't really keep going with that. It's really hard for him to continue after that.
The pastor places his hand on your shoulder and he gives it a friendly squeeze, and he will say, "Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much."
Steps down.
The rest of the procession continues, and again, it's a blur for you. The actual ceremony ends. The congregation gets up from their seats. Many of the friends and family members comes to you directly and to your siblings. They give their condolences, shake your hand. Some of them try to give you a hug. Some of them tries to give your shoulders a squeeze. You're trying to be polite, but you're very, in the inside, it's aggravating. It's excruciating on the inside, but on the outside, you're trying to keep a face, at least to be polite. And the room, you start to feel a little dizzy, and the room starts to spin a little bit. And then everything, when the room is spinning, everything goes dark for a moment, and then you can start to smell the smell of bacon all of a sudden, randomly. And you can hear the sound of something frying in the kitchen. And you open your eyes, and you are in bed right now.